In ancient times, the Makaweli Valley on the island of Kauai was a place of lush beauty, with towering cliffs and vibrant forests that resonated with the sounds of birds and the flow of streams. The valley, alive with dense greenery and hidden caves, was a perfect sanctuary for Kamapuaa, the Hawaiian pig god, who was both feared and revered by those who called this place home. Kamapuaa was known for his shape-shifting abilities, transforming between the form of a strong young warrior and that of a great boar with tusks that could tear through tree trunks. Though he was considered a guardian of the forest and streams, he also had a mischievous streak, often testing those who ventured into his domain. At times, he was known to punish those who mistreated the land or disrespected the forces of nature. One night, the people of Makaweli gathered under full moon at the edge of the valley. The air was thick with anticipation, for they have heard whispers of Kamapuaa's presence in the surrounding hills. Warriors kept their eyes on the shadow cliffs, and the elders chanted ancient stories of his adventures, hoping to appease the unpredictable deity. While Kamapuaa could be a fierce protector, he was known to react violently if he felt disrespected. As the people chanted, the wind suddenly picked up, rustling the tall grass and sending chills through the crowd. From the depth of the valley, a guttural roar echoed, reverberating through the cliffs, shaking leaves from the trees. Kamapuaa had heard their call. Emerging from the shadows, he appeared as a massive boar, his tusks gleaming under moonlight, his eyes like fiery embers. He stamped his hooves, the ground trembling beneath him. The people felt silent, lowering their eyes out of respect and fear. The high priest stepped forward, extending an offering of taro and fish wrapped in tea leaves, which was placed on a woven mat before Kamapuaa. Kamapuaa grunted and snorted, eyeing the offering with interest. Then, he shifted his form, flickering like smoke, until he stood as a powerful warrior, his dark skin glistening and his muscular form covered only by a feather cloak. He picked up the offering and nodded to the priest, who breathed a sigh of relief. But then Kamapuaa's gaze turned to the cliffs behind the gathering, his face hardening. He knew the hunters had recently ventured into forbidden parts of the valley, desecrating sacred land in pursuit of wild pigs. Who among you has been in places where none were permitted? He demanded, his voice like thunder rolling through the valley. Silence fell as the villagers exchanged uneasy glances. A young man named Calais, known for his skills with the spear and his bravery, stepped forward, head bowed. He had taken his friends deep into the valley, crossing boundaries they knew were forbidden, lured by the promise of abundant game. Kamapuaa approached Calais, his eyes fierce. You have disrespected the land. The valley is sacred, and those who tread without reverence awaken forces that are beyond your understanding. Calais trembled, but he mustered the courage to speak. Forgive me, Kamapuaa. I did not mean to disrespect. I only wished to feed my family. Kamapuaa watched him for a long moment, then nodded. To sustain your family is noble, but know that this land provides only to those who respect its sanctity. He took a deep breath, his eyes softening. You may hunt, but never again shall you enter those sacred parts. If you or any others do, the valley will no longer offer you its blessing. Do you understand? Yes, Kamapuaa, Kalei whispered, his voice trembling with gratitude. Satisfied, Kamapuaa turned and, in a blink, shifted back into his boar form. He stamped his hooves once more, causing a gust of wind to rush through the valley. Then he vanished into the shadows to Mahaihai, leaving the people of Makaweli awestruck. From that night on, the people of Makaweli held Kamapuaa in even greater reverence. They protected the valley's sacred places, taking only what they needed and giving back to the land with prayers and offerings. And Kamapuaa, the fierce and protective God, watched over them, his spirit forever rooted in the heart of Makaweli Valley.